We're going to start as we call the meeting to order. We thought it might be fun for everybody to introduce themselves. Because everybody doesn't necessarily know everybody here. So do you want to start here? And we'll just go around the room, just a quick, and whether you're a Leah, a Wib, whatever you are. Staff.
Yeah. Tiffany Reeves, I'm the workforce director. I'm board staff. I'm Danita Eckler, business representative for Amy Board. Hi, Stacy Thurman, Wild Turkey, and I'm on the
Right here, I'm with the
I'm the project director for the Legal team. Paula Evelyn, I'm from Australia, I'm the Charles family, and I'm on the Leah.
Long factor, business service manager.
Also.
Vocational rehab. I'm Mindy Lee, I'm the executive director of the Child Care and I'm on the
Amy Blacktop with the city elected lieutenant, the mayor's office.
Stacy May, Public Information Officer for the Blue Press.
Mike here, Commissioner. Department Workforce Development.
Robin Richmond, I'm the program assistant and kind of the board meetings on. Board staff.
Chris Bowman with the Central Midwest Carpenters, part of the board, and the representative labor.
Likely, I'm from First County Executive.
Reagan Taylor, Madison County Executive.
David Sturgill, PCTC, and I'm on the WIP.
Boyle County Judge Executive.
Eric Steele.
Steve, yeah.
Let's make out 17.
Oh, mostly, with the bluegrass ad, I'm the,
Who's that? Yeah, good statement.
John Doherty, with Antec Electrical, the chair of the WIF.
Linda Gordon, Mayor of Lexington, I'm Leo. And I have to tell you, John, I'm sorry. Oh, we have people online. I am so sorry. Please introduce yourself.
Jason Marshall, Harrison County Judge Executive.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pam Hatcher. I'm a business representative with the WIP. I'm program manager with Trilogy Health Services.
Jeremy Hurd, I'm the IT specialist for the DC WIF.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I was going to tell you, John and I are sitting up here with a loud air conditioner, so if you'll be sure and speak up so we can hear you if you make motions or anything. Is that good?
Yes, please.
And I think that we've established already that there is a quorum for both the Leos and the BG WIB. So we'll go right into some action, right? You do have minutes in your packet. There are 2 sets. And so I'll go ahead and since the executive committee of the Leos from June 25th, 25 is there, I'll need a motion and a second. Motion by Reagan Taylor, second by Mike Williams. Is there any discussion or corrections or additions to the Leo minutes by the Leos? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right, that passes.
For the BG WIF, we also have
our meeting minutes from our June 5th. In the packet. We're also looking for a motion in a second.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you. And a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Right. The next item you'll see is a review of the finance reports for May, June, and July, and Colin Mosley will lead us through that, and then we'll do joint approval.
Here we are. Yeah, let's be here. That way everybody can hear you?
Yeah.
They
Don't worry
wouldn't
about
hear
it. Turn it right. So everybody, if you'll flip through to, there's a financial report with a chart on the top that says May 2025. Start there. So at the close of business in, May 2025, we were at 77% expended on our overall FY 25 budget. We were at 75% in the prior year at the same time. Our admin costs were at 90% compared to 70% in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were 86% expended compared to 53% in the prior year. Dislocated worker program costs were at 56% compared to 58% in the prior year. And then our youth expenditures were 74% compared to 72% in the prior year. And then our youth program work experience requirement of 20%. We did meet that requirement on the grant that ended June 30th of 2025. That one required us to spend $165,695.39. We met that requirement. And then at the very bottom, you'll notice if anybody's forgotten that we've started to incorporate the timeline for how we've been paying our direct service provider Equus on their monthly invoices. You can see a few bullet points on those. So our April invoice was received on the 12th. We revised it on the 13th, and then we did have them paid effectively on June 17th of that year, of this year. And then our May Equus invoice was received on the 18th, and more details for that is actually on the June report. So, but the way we're at right now with May, I'll take it actually to the last page. Just remind you that we do have this report that says grant balances at the top. It's like 4 pages back. That shows you the snapshot of where our grant balances were at the close of business in May of 2025. The right-hand side is the balance that is remaining. It says budget balance. So each of the individual grants that we still had active, that balance is available there on the right-hand side. Have any questions about May, or I will just jump into June? Yep. Okay. So then June of 2025, look to that next page. We were at 86% expended on our overall budget. That compares to 88% in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 100% compared to 78% in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were 95% expended compared to 53% in the prior year. Then our dislocated worker program expenditures were 65% expended compared to 68% in the prior year. And then our youth program was 82% expended compared to 80% in the prior year. And then once again, it notes that we did cover that work experience requirement for the youth program funds. And so then that May Equus invoice, at the creation of this June invoice had not been paid yet. But it had been approved by the state. It says on there, I believe on the next page, it's going to say that it was paid out on the 29th of July. And so, and then June was paid out the day after that, the 30th. Any questions about the June reports?
Just clarification, you say next page, you're actually needing about 6 pages after that.
Yes, yes, to
Think
the,
about
to the
keep
next
up with
month.
that?
Yeah, the next month, not the next
Yeah.
page. So, and then once again, I'll let you know that you can see the grant balances in June 2025 there as well. Then the next page after that says July 2025 with the chart at the top. All right, so at the end of July, we had spent 5% of our overall budget compared to 8% in the prior year. And then our admin costs were at 9% compared to 5% in the prior year. Adult program expenditures were approximately 7% compared to 12% at the same time in the prior year. Our dislocated worker program was at 3% compared to 6% in the prior year. And then our youth expenditures were at 7% compared to 7% in the prior year. And then on our youth program, expenditures for work experience for the grant, which expires on June 30th of 2026, we were currently at about 47% expended on that at $104,883.18. And then you can see there that the June Equus invoice was received on the 14th. We did pay that on the 30th. And then the July Equus invoice, that one has been paid. I don't recall the exact date, but we did pay that 2 weeks ago, I believe. I think that was maybe the 25th or 26th. But as of this time, we don't have any open invoices with Equus. Any questions about July?
It's not off easy.
Yeah.
No question?
Well, the questions are probably budget the next part. So,
Okay, so on this part, the May, June, and July, we will need to have a joint motion and everybody vote. So is there a motion to approve the May, June, and July finance reports?
Make the motion, Mayor.
Coach Williams, right, is there a second? Any questions? Right, all those in favor, please say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, there you go. Now we're on the final budget of fiscal year 26.
so is that what we're going to now? So then I will continue on to the fiscal year 26 budget for the workforce board here. And then at the very top, you'll see that we've got it split out by by several categories. We start out with admin, adult, disciplinary worker, youth, and then it has the total budget amount for each of those. Those are all estimated on based off the planning numbers the state sent us around May of this year, last fiscal year. And we have received some of those funds already in the NFA. Our youth was actually a little bit more than what we put on here, but not significantly much. But if you'll just walk with me, we'll go through the rest of the budget here. So we do have a carryover from FY 25, approximately 1.6. That these are grants that we can use for multiple years, and so we do have carryover that allows us to continue services going, even whenever we might be waiting for the next year's grant. So that is working as planned, and we run out those grants before we run out the new grants that are allocated to us. So as we go through our operations this year, within the next few months, we'll most likely expend most of these that are the carryover amounts. And then we'll start tapping into the new allocations. And so we mostly kept our budget very similar to the prior year. At the ad, we did add some extra staff. We wound up hiring Rachel Adams from the state to join our team as the compliance and reporting manager for our team. And we've increased our staff account just a little bit on there. staff travel and supplies and those sort of things are kind of staying the same. We did add a little bit extra for, phone and computer and equipment. That is about 95,000, but we had budgeted about 53,000 the prior year. We did wind up getting some new, like, we've got some new, computers. We've got, transfer VR for the, all the VR events that Jeremy and the team do at the schools and different places. That alone costs 25,000 plus, every year. But it seems like that's been a very useful, useful expense for us. And then basically our operating budget is very similar, except it does have a slight increase to staff, as far as the Bluegrass Ads operating costs. And then the program delivery cost is, I'll remind you, that is all of our, what the Kentucky Career Center is operating on. This is what Equus's budget is. And theirs is very largely the same. Some of their staff costs for the one-stop operator, that has changed a little bit just in how they're administering those costs. Those are going to be covered through their cost pool. And then they shift a little bit more into the work experience and then what else was it? There's a slight bump to their indirect, for this year, just for the added amount that we have, available to them this year. And I'd also like to add that related to this budget, one thing that isn't explicitly shown in this budget is that we did just receive a $2 million grant from, the Department of Labor. They're administering that to us directly. The National Dislocated Worker Grant for the BG Cap plant closing here in over there in Richmond, and the Yokohama plant closing. Those funds are being administered. We just received those. And then we do have another grant coming from the state. We just received an NFA about $700,000 for the Kentucky Storm Grant of 2025. So those are some extra cost pools that we have. And then you see at the bottom, we do also have that Quest grant that we've been working to administer. That's a 3-year grant. We are currently at about $140,000 on it right now. That one shows 162, but it's about 140 right now. And then the putting young people to work, that youth funds from the state, that's still available. And we do still have a few cases in the trade program. So outside of our normal WIOA formula funds, we've probably got, 3.4, 3.5 million also that's available to provide additional services to our region. So if anybody has any specific questions about items about FY 26, this budget, please let me know, and I'll be happy to address them.
Just, a future, but this is a budget, right? Sure. And some things may change in the next 12 months. We got functional room to move a little bit left and right if we need to, right?
Yes, and that is something I probably should mention. So we do have a slight, at the very bottom of this budget, it does say total reserve FY 26 funds. We've budgeted to have about $1.1 million left over at the end of this program year. Just to see, we get into next year and funding changes, we do still have $1 million to operate on. And that's in addition to any that we might still have on the, all these other grants that we just received. So,
My thoughts, the reason I asked that is we can like the travel for staff, or their career fair functions, those may need some more funding in the next 12 months.
that's a good point. But that's the thing. So like the staff travel, now that might need to go up just a little bit, that $1,000 from 2,000 a year before, but professional development also is that's what we charge our conferences to.
Yeah.
So that 25,000 is consistent with last year.
Just want to make sure we have some wiggle room if we need to,
Yes.
because I'm hoping we're gonna have a lot of around.
Yeah, all of these amounts can fluctuate a little bit. But yeah, we've got plenty of room to adjust. Okay. There's more opportunity
Clarify
that
that.
requires
I
more
knew the
travel.
answer. I was gonna clarify that. Clarify.
Absolutely.
Are there other questions? Now, this is one of those funky ones when we have
We're
to
a
vote
team.
separately.
Now we're gonna be separate.
So I will ask for a motion from a Leo to approve the Leos. All right, Judge Taylor, is there a second? From the judge? Thank you. Are there any further questions from the Leos? All right, all those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that part passes.
All right, for the PG Web, same questions, looking for a motion to approve and a second. Motion seen in the back, and a second. We got a second in the middle. Any discussion?
Sorry, John, who was the second? Oh, okay, thank you.
You know, I'm terrible with names.
Oh,
I know your faces.
How about, I'm sorry, this is in the middle of your motion. How about when you make a motion or a second, you say your last name? That would help. I think all of it. Just straight out of the brain. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, BG Web, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, motion passed.
Right.
We did.
Now, item D on your, thank you,
Yeah,
Colin.
thank you, Colin.
On your agenda, item D is one that only the Leos will vote on. Are these state laws or what are these? It's so, it doesn't matter.
Rules of order type of thing, Stacy, background.
Because we're having a
Online,
joint
we
meeting.
had the joint meeting.
Yeah.
We have has to vote on it and the Leos have to vote on it separately. That way it's all in line. And if there's ever a question that comes back from the Department of Labor, we have to document.
Yeah, it shows that it was approved by both boards as opposed by one board with different members.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
We just got to do it this way once a year.
Oh, I know. Now, apparently, either the BG WIB has passed D or doesn't have to pass D,
They
but
do
the
not.
Leos need to vote on D. And you will have seen in your packet in the back that we are again recommending that the fiscal agent do the bluegrass ad. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that from a Leo.
Keep looking at me.
Trying to figure out.
I'm glad. I make a motion, Madam Chair.
Okay,
My name's Judge Taylor.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, we have another one in there. All right, Judge Deal. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. And, so that brings us to item E. And this is about continuing our hybrid meetings. Except for the joint, well, it's kind of hybrid.
It can be. We don't like it
Right.
that way, but
Okay,
there are situations that happen. That
okay. So this will again be voted separately by the Leos and then the BG WIP. So I will ask for a motion from a Leo, local elected official. And
Donnie Watson.
Taylor's pointing to someone.
Donnie Watson.
Yeah, I hear a motion back there. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Judge Williams. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you.
All right, for the BG Web, same question about the hybrid meetings. We broke the motion. Virgil. Need a second? Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Continuing on.
Now, on F, this is about our calendars for 2026. And apparently there are 4 entities that must each vote separately. And so the first one's easy, that's the Leos, right? So if you look back in your packet, you will have seen that the Leo meetings are proposed to be the last Wednesday of the third month of each quarter. And is that 10 o'clock? What is the time?
I'm sorry,
10
I'm
o'clock.
around the game. It's generally. It can be whichever you guys. It can be whichever you all prefer.
So are we to decide that right now? Because everybody will have to look at their calendars, I think. The time.
Yeah.
Right.
If you choose, you can table it, but it would,
Well,
if it's,
so I'll ask the local elected officials if you have a preference, do you want it at 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock, or does it matter? Because I don't know when your fiscal courts meet. It would be March 25th, June 24th, September 16th is the joint, December 16th.
December 16th. Is that gonna be December 16th this year?
26th,
26th.
2026.
Yeah, in real time.
Is there,
Do we want 10 or 1 on these days?
the question is 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock?
On the 25th of March, 2026, June 24th. They're all in there. Whatever you say, we'll go.
No, I think one. I'm gonna take the one.
You said 1. You said, truly said 1.
Is there anyone who cannot, of the Leos, is there anyone who cannot do 1 o'clock on those days? All right, do I hear?
Victor, Lexington, 4.
Yes.
4 hours. Yeah, so, is that a motion to?
Sure, I'll make that
Oh,
motion.
thank you very much.
And I'll second
Do
that.
second, Judge Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the Leo's motion is for those dates at 1 o'clock PM. And are there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes.
All right, to the full board on our setup, full board. If you will, find that, calendar. But March, June, September, and December. Those dates. Like the 4th in March, the 3rd in June, 16th in September. Not really sure about these guys, December 2nd. I got a lot of extra, yeah.
We're special.
Yeah. Are those dates agreeable to everyone, for full board meetings? And I know that meeting is at 1 o'clock. Somebody has a heartache about 1 o'clock. For a motion and second, 1 o'clock on those dates as listed in this packet. If you would. And a second over there. I assume there's no discussion, if there's open floor for any discussion about these dates and times. If not, I want for everybody to be in agreement and say aye. Aye. Thank you. Full board meetings are set. Next one is our executive meetings. That's, I think they're back at the page for that. And those are in February, May, August, and November. I think, yeah. Looks like February the 4th, May the 6th, August the 5th, November the 4th. I'm guessing. So. Yeah, November 3rd. That's our executive meetings, and those all have always been historically at 10 a.m. Unless somebody, that's really our executive team, that's just Matt at this point, unless you've got somebody on
Mike is not on.
Micah and Dolly's not here today. I'm aware of this. Matt,
So I will make that motion.
you'll make that motion.
Yes. What
Since I'm
time?
the only other executive.
What time?
10 a.m. I guess I'll have to also do the second, right, since we're only two. And Dolly and Michael just have to be there, right?
That's right.
Here's a vote.
Everybody say aye. And that moves forward. Okay. Now for our finance committee, which has historically been Matt, heading that. Unless we got confused one day.
That was just the one.
And this is on February 25th, May 27th, August 26th, November 18th. That is our finance committee, and that's been 10 a.m. as well. Yeah. Look for a motion and a second for that.
So I'll make that motion. I got agree with the only other person here. I think that's on that
Does
committee.
anybody else want to be here?
I think that's you, John.
That's me, right? I'll second. All in favor? It's two of us, we don't have any other discussion. So those dates hold. Thank everyone. Move on.
Right, that takes us to G, and this is a Leo only issue. And the Leos will vote on both policies together, and Tiffany's gonna give a very brief reason why we're not doing these.
The state took back control of the ETPL. That, and the ETPL is the eligible training provider list. Therefore, the local areas don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's why, and the reason that the Leos are only having to vote on this is the WIP already voted on it in their June. And then on Focus Assist, the state did away with Focus Assist. So these are two policies that, as I've told the WIP members, y'all can vote for us to keep them, but they're just gonna sit over there gathering dust. Because there's nothing that the local areas have control on these two things.
All right, so thank you very much, Tiffany. I'll ask if there is a Leo who will move to delete these two policies.
Make that motion, Mayor.
Judge Williams, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. And that brings us to the policy updates, new policies, wording changes. And because the BG Whip was so efficient and has already done this one, this is a Leo only vote. And it is items 1 through 10 on the next page, I think, isn't it? And shall we have, like, Lolly, do you want to say something about the first two, the on-the-job training and the transitional?
So with the on-the-job training, we call it OJT, we've got acronyms for everything. The two major changes that we put on there, we just wanted to revamp our on-the-job training policy. We're making that, pushing on-the-job training a bit more than we're done years past. Just because more companies were wanting to utilize the internship program, work-based learning program. We're trying to revamp the on-the-job training, which essentially what's going on there is that we changed the limit on it from $10 an hour for participating in this program to $15 an hour. That was one of the main changes we moved, or changed that policy. And also the other main change on it was that if you were a rural county, it does not follow that. So if you're a rural county, we don't have to meet that. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna run a labor market information. And then if the labor market information shows the data that says, hey, look, $15 an hour, it's too much, maybe a little bit less, then we'll run that labor market information. So really essentially those are the two big major changes we did on the job policy. And then with the transitional, it's the exact same thing. The only thing that we're looking at differently is the bucket of money it's coming from, which is going to be geared more towards our transitional population, whether it's you're incarcerated or we're able to step outside of those fixed high demand sector that we would typically focus on.
Okay, now, as I understand, we need to vote on each one separately, so Uh, Thank you, Raleigh, for this number one. I'll entertain a motion from a Leo to approve.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there a second? Don't be afraid. Judge Steele, all right. Any-
It must be a pretty bad motion that made it all the way back here.
we're gonna have to do this for all 10 of you. So, all right, all those in favor of approving number one, say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. I will entertain a motion for number two from Leo.
With Judge Marshall. Jason Marshall.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Marshall.
Oh.
You can see it in his eye.
I'll second.
Judge Taylor seconds it. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Now, Tiffany, we have three forms on. You are going to go over.
It's on each one of them and then you go back. I don't know, like you
That
do.
would be fine.
Okay. On the out of area job search policy, all we did was clean it up and remove older youth. Right, as someone that is eligible, an individual can be enrolled into youth and adult programs if they need that service. That's what we did on that one. On the individual training account, the same thing with the OJT, we just adjusted those totals. Our previous ITA amount was $10,000 for every individual. Talking to the other local areas and things like that, we realized that our total was kind of high, so we adjusted it down to 6,000, which is kind of in the middle there. And then work-based learning is the same thing as the ITA. We just adjusted it to where all of our totals are the same for your OJT, your ITA, and your work-based learning.
All right, thank you. Let's start with number three. If I could have a Leo make a motion, please.
So moved. Just like.
Thank you. Is there a second? Oh, Judge Hamilton. All right. We have more than we knew we had. And are there any questions about number three? Say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, number three is passed. On number four, the individual training account, may I please have a motion to approve?
Make that motion.
Judge Williams, thank you. Is there a second? Okay, Judge Steele. All right, are there any questions? All those in favor, say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you. That passes. And number five, the work-based learning policy, I'll entertain a motion. All right. All right, and is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor, say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. We should be so smart as to do these like we do. Okay, number six, Raleigh. Yes?
Yeah.
Would you just briefly tell us about six, and then I'll ask Tiffany to do 7, 8, 9, and 10.
With the rapid response policy, we didn't have one in place. But a rapid response, if someone's closing down, or they're laying off, or they're downsizing, we provide rapid response services. Those efforts are usually led by myself and Todd Blanton. But we didn't have a rapid response policy. It was something that we needed to get done, kind of keep us in line of the procedures and things like that. So that's where the rapid response policy.
Thank you. All right, may I have a motion to approve from
Can I make
Leah?
a statement before you move forward?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, this is Stacy. On page page 2 of 7 on the rapid response, it's been pointed out that it is this labeled as of July, the name of the department has changed. So if we could get, when you make the approval, to make the approval with that change, to Office of Industry and Apprenticeship from Office of Employer and Apprenticeship Services.
This is under the rapid response.
It is under rapid response on page 2. Yes.
Okay.
Just have that noted in the notes so we can make that change.
Very good. Thanks. All right.
Madam Chair, I make the motion if presented.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any further questions? All right, Leos, all those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, that passes. And, now Tiffany, I'll let you roll, what you've got, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
I do.
You do, that'll finish us out.
Okay, so on 7, it was, the policy was our COVID-19 response policy. We just changed the name to disaster policy. Or that disaster response policy. Hopefully, we never have to worry about that, but who knows? Right, that's all that was. On number 8, we changed, it was just monitoring policy. We changed it to program monitoring policy because what that policy is connected to is the WIOA program monitoring. On number 9, on the needs related payment, that's connected to a dislocated worker service that we have. And we removed the phrase 18 or over because you do not have to be 18 to be considered a dislocated worker. Sally Sue can be working and at a factory at 16 years old after school. And if that factory shuts down, she is a dislocated worker. So, and then on the satisfactory progress one, we changed in section 3, we changed the wording to just say WIOA enrolled participants making satisfactory progress. It was on those, it's just cleaning up the verbiage.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Let's go back to number 7. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second? Thank you. Any further questions? All those in favor of approving, say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that one passes. Number 8 is monitoring, the program monitoring policy. May I have a motion to approve? From a Leo.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any further questions? All right, all those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Judge Hamilton, I know you've got a couple more in you. We're on number 9. That's the one that took out 18 or older. And I'll entertain a motion to approve. Thank you very much.
Second.
Judge Taylor seconds. Are there any further questions? Yes.
Hit me at 16, the age.
Listen, now there's some waivers, right? I want to think that it's 15. But I know at one point they were talking that it could go to 14 that you could get a waiver, but I just use 16 as an example. Like if they drop it down to 10 years old, if Sally Sue's 10 years old and working and gets laid off, she would be a dislocated worker. So,
But it takes away.
it takes a waiver, yeah.
The minimum age be officially employed in the age 15.
Our intern is 14.
Yeah.
Would that require a waiver?
Correct. It requires a special circumstance. So, but now the thing is like, regardless what anybody wants to drop the age to, if you're under the age of 18, there's a whole lot of jobs you're not gonna get to do, right? And definitely under 16, I remember, I think at 16, you can't run the meat slicer at the county. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
So it's like fast food restaurant. See 14, 15-year-old.
You could work in the front there, work in the cash register, but like they wouldn't be working the fryer in the back. They can't do that. So.
Good question. Any other questions? All right, Leo's, all those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. And finally, number 10, the updated language, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Did that, Judge Field, did you do that one? Oh, okay, Judge Bob. All right, any other questions about this one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Okay. Next, we have some informational items. And Tiffany, I think you'll do the first one for us.
Everyone should have received their annual report. Be sure and look at it. There's some good stuff in here. If you want to know what we're doing, it's all here, right? But the only thing that I wanted to point out is our strategic plan update is in this as well. Okay? That's my ticket.
Very good. That's awesome. Thank you. And then, we have the direct service provider report. Jennifer Hayes is going to give us that.
In your packet, you'll see the July report. This is the monthly reports that I give to Tiffany every month. It's reporting out some of the highlights that we have going on and some of the outreach efforts that we're making. And just to hit a couple of the highlights, for July is that we, partner with Harrisburg Water Treatment and placed two, big internships there who successfully completed those. One was hired on, one for additional training. In Esco County right now, we have a CDL cohort. Currently, we're BCBC on-site training those CDL individuals in Esco County. In Nicholas County, we also have CDL training cohort going on for 5 individuals, where we have a provider coming on site in Nicholas County versus those guys going out to get trained. I met with Judge Barnes in Powell County recently, and he also is very interested in working to get some CDL trained up in the county. And then I'm working with BCPC right now for a Mercer and a Boyle CDL cohort to bring to those counties. And so the goal of us every single month for the ones of us on the front lines with the Kentucky Career Center is that we touch each of the 17 counties every month. We serve 2 customers, we serve the employers, and we serve the job seekers. And so a good day for us is when we get to serve both at the same time, which is really what our work-based learning program is all about. So that's where we take an individual, place them into either a paid internship, or we do an on-the-job training where we reimburse them for your. And then in addition to those highlights, Tiffany and I have been in conversation with Franklin County to also talk about a CDL cohort. So it sounds like we're doing a lot of CDL right now. We are, but last year we did a lot of nurse aid. So we do whatever the needs of the community are. So if we go out to nursing homes and they say we're desperate for nurse aides, then we'll start launching a lot of nurse aids. We have a childcare initiative with Debbie Link because we knew that the needs for childcare was great in the area. And so really, this is the perfect time for us to say, if you have needs in your community, we want to help you. So judges in the room, if you see that, your employers need welders or your employers need engineers, we have the funding to help pay for that. We have the staff on site to push that. So we're here to assist all of that. We also have National Dislocated Worker funding. We're heavily working with the Army Depot contractors that are being laid off and the Yokohama employees that were laid off. So we have staff specifically working to get them some quick certification because we know that those guys coming out of the Army Depot are not going to be making the same wage that they paid while they were contracted there. So we're working with several to just get some OSHA certification, CDL training, some welding certificates, different things. But then I also every month list out just each county, and some of the meetings that we do in those counties. We are on site, all of the libraries every month. So if there's a job seeker in Nicholas County, they don't have to drive into our Lexington Richmond office. We're on site in Nicholas County, for example. So that's all of our counties every month in that way. We also, I list out every month just the business service, on the business service part, I list all of the employers that our business service team has reached out to or met with during the month. And then at the end of the report, I always put success stories. And so I thought it was appropriate for the month of July, to say that we'd already signed 23 employers, for master agreement. And that means that 23 employers, just 1 month into our program year, have said, we want to partner with you all. We want to take your paid internships. We want to do the job training with you. And so again, if you all have employers that you work close with that want to partner with us, we want those employers. That's just a few of the highlights. Do you all have any questions for me?
Thank you very much, Jennifer. And to close out the informational items, Blanton's going to give us our one-stop operator report.
Thank you. It's kind of almost an average, so why don't we spend a little? Let me load up this.
Hey, I'm making a motion, I'm making a motion, Jarvis.
So my report for July just has a couple of highlights. July is when we started our new program here, so we're just getting things kicked off. We did have a couple hiring VR events. Rolando and I have been working with Pearl Interactive on some rapid responses. Luckily, the employees that were going to be impacted there in Clark County all found jobs with the new contractor, so we didn't have to do the rapid response. We worked for Chip at the Clark County Fiscal Court to get the judge executives there to sign the interlocal agreement. Where we lost our Georgetown office a couple months back, I've been working with the Scott County Public Library to continue our services in Scott County. And so we've got a staff member that's going to be going out twice a month to the Scott County Library to continue our services there in the Georgetown area. And then since July, we've had 4 sessions with that project as far as rapid responses go. We've had our regional business services meeting, so we're just kicking off the new year in July, these last few months, just getting things going again. If anybody has anything going on in your counties, Stacy and I would love to get a community resource minute reported, so reach out to Stacy or myself, and we'd be glad to promote any events that you've got going on. But in the judge's time constraint, I'll just forego the rest of the report. The other 55 minutes. What you got?
Thank you very much, Todd. Were there any questions for Todd? All right, thank you.
I'm gonna close our meeting by asking for any open discussion from anyone, Leo's and with. Comments, statements? If none, I have a statement. The mayor has stated that she and I need to get this big check. Picture together. It's a year late today.
I don't know risk management. Like say that.
Yes, you did.
We could all fit here.
John, I don't want to buy it, that's just the right size, for an awful size person.
I can pitch that one. So the questions are, do we need a vote on this to give the mayor the chair?
Oh, my God.
Motion.
Oh, my gosh.
Mayor, as we were joking around earlier, that's like the chairman's smartphone right there.
That, we could like that.
So if nobody's gonna vote in abundance for that, we will have a motion to adjourn. And that's by anyone. Yeah, who was missing? Yeah, there we go. That's likely to go. And a second, just to be,
know, in conformity. Yeah, Matt, thank you, Matt. All in favor? All right, now we got other activities, after, Tiffany, what?
If you all want to, Donna will give you all a tour. There's some amazing things here, but I want to thank all of you all. You all are very busy. We take a whole day, right? And I know what chaos that makes. So I thank you all for being here today. Thanks for all this.
Yeah, we're gonna take